Martha Stewart, the woman who turned homemaking into high society, who famously walked into a courtroom with a Birkin and made it an American moment, just shot her shot in the most deliciously unexpected way. She told ET she wants to plan Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding. Yes, the queen of etiquette, the doyenne of domestic glamour, wants to design and orchestrate the nuptials of the two biggest stars in music and sports. Stop everything. Imagine Martha, with that impeccable eye for detail and a lifetime of taste, quietly leaning in and saying, "Let me do it." That one line is catnip for gossip-hungry fans, a tiny, glittering invitation to picture a ceremony where couture meets craft knives, where floral installations are as meticulously placed as the perfect set table, and where the wedding bag, yes, even the wedding bag, becomes a headline. This is not just a passing quip from an 84-year-old cultural institution. There's history, symbolism, and a deliciously human undercurrent that turns a throwaway moment into immediate water cooler drama. So, in the next 20 minutes, we're unpacking why Martha's comment landed like a velvet glove slapping the palm of celebrity culture, what it says about the Swift-Kelce phenomenon, the reactions already bubbling through fan camps and fashion weeks, and the deeper theatrical story of image reinvention and spectacle at the center of modern celebrity weddings. Stay with me. This one's going to be equal parts heart, strategy, and pure headline fuel. To fully feel the sting and the sweetness of Martha's pitch, we have to rewind. Taylor Swift, global pop goddess, storytelling savant, who turns private moments public through lyrics and Easter eggs. And Travis Kelce, NFL superstar whose charisma and gridiron swagger rewired the sports celebrity pipeline the moment he walked into the stadium. Their relationship has been a media event from the beginning. Every date, every game day cameo, every lyrical hint in Taylor's catalog sent tides of commentary through fandoms and tabloids alike. Remember how their courtship single-handedly filled arenas, crashed promo calendars, and created a brand new genre of crossover fandom, pop meets football, that advertisers drool over? Their relationship is not merely romance, it's a cultural product with its own supply chain of merch, memes, and headline arcs. And now, with marriage rumors simmering, everyone is speculating. Will this be a secret garden elopement, an invite-only castle affair, or a global spectacle timed to the release of a deluxe album? Enter Martha, someone who transformed domestic aesthetics into a public enterprise. Her own past, from empire building to public fall to comeback, is itself a story of reinvention. She carried a Birkin to trial and made it a symbol. She turned cooking and craft into brand power. So when Martha throws her hat into the wedding ring, pun intended, she isn't just being playful. Her offer sits at the intersection of two stories: the Swift-Kelce romance and Martha's ongoing presence as the arbiter of tasteful spectacle. It's the cultural mashup we didn't know we needed. Culinary legend offering to stage the biggest celebrity wedding of our era. Let's break down what Martha actually said, why she said it now, and how that one line could ripple into everything from venue, scouting to influencer seating charts. In an ET interview promoting the Book of Iconic Bags, Martha reminisced about the Birkin she carried during her trial, a seemingly plain brown leather pocketbook that became a symbol of resilience and taste. She moved through anecdotes about her closet, her pool construction in Maine, and the small self-aware jokes about a thirst trap. And then, in the kind of throwaway, charmingly bold moment only Martha can pull off, she mentioned wanting to plan Taylor and Travis's wedding. It's a brilliant PR pivot. Martha links herself to the hottest celebrity couple, reasserts relevancy in the conversation that matters to a younger, streaming-first audience, and does it all while promoting a coffee table book that sells status and nostalgia. But beyond the PR, there are practical possibilities to savor. Imagine Martha curating an heirloom-level guest experience where every napkin fold, every plate, every perfume spritz has been edited by someone who treats life like a mise-en-scène. Picture a ceremony where Taylor's lyricism meets Martha's picnic-perfect sensibility. A reception that's both intimate and staged with cinematic precision. Think platters of personality, a color palette coded to Taylor's eras, and a seating plan that reads like fan fiction come true. Now layer in Travis Kelce's world, sports energy, tailgate authenticity, family, and team pride. The tension, and the hook, would be how to fuse Martha's immaculate cool with the raw, public masculinity of football fandom. Would Martha insist on a dining etiquette segment? Would Kelce bring a surprise entrance worthy of a final drive? The drama is wanting to see whether taste can tame spectacle, and whether a planner of Martha's exacting style could create a Wedding that satisfies Swifties, sports fans, high society, and the entertainment press in one elegant bite. Also, don't ignore timing. Martha's mention came while she was promoting a book about iconic objects, a perfect meta moment. She's not only offering to plan a wedding, she's proposing to codify a moment in celebrity history, to make the Swift-Kelce wedding itself an iconic object people will want to own through coverage, photos, and merch. That ambition is audacious and very, very on brand. Predictably, the reaction ecosystem exploded as fast as a trending Twitter thread. Swifties immediately started designing mood boards in their heads. Which Martha Stewart era would best suit an heiress-themed aisle? Would there be a folklore, understory garden with mossy benches and delicate tea sandwiches? Kelce fans fired back with gleeful suggestions for a stadium-to-ballroom mashup, a halftime reception, or a heartwarming family corner for NFL vets and coaches. The media loved it because it's a triple threat. A legacy star wants to touch a current phenomenon and thereby validate both. Celebrity stylists and wedding planners watching this will have their DMs blown up with inquiries. Who's on the invite list? Who designs the cake? And who gets the handcrafted place cards? Then there's the industry reaction. Wedding planners either rolled their eyes, protecting their exclusivity, or scented opportunity. Martha's name on a roster would elevate any vendor's profile. On the cultural side, older readers saw it as Martha's moment of cultural mentorship, handing off taste to a new generation, while younger viewers thought, this is peak internet, because it perfectly blurs the boundary between domestic care and celebrity spectacle. If there's any pushback, it's the classic question of authenticity. Will bringing in a brand like Martha Stewart sanitize something fans hope will feel raw and real? That debate alone fuels more headlines. Celebrities who know Martha personally might send polite RSVPs. Rival lifestyle icons could issue soft statements about collaboration. At the end of the day, that one quip generated not just viral chatter, but a framing debate about who gets to produce intimacy in public life. Now let's get into the little things the interview revealed that make this morsel of gossip far richer than it first appears. Martha's anecdote about carrying a brown Birkin to court, a bag she insists wasn't ostentatious but practical and pocketbook in her vocabulary, is revealing. It's Martha showing how meaning accrues to small objects. She turns a handbag into a talisman. That detail matters because weddings are built on objects that carry emotional freight. A grandmother's lace, a family ring, a song lyric. Martha's language about the bag being spacious and perfect hints at her philosophy. Beauty exists in functional, lovingly used artifacts. There's also the tender aside about the pool in Maine, built on a foundation of an old house, showing Martha's habit of layering history into modern projects. That reveals how she might approach a wedding, not as a blank spectacle, but as a palimpsest where new narratives are written over old ones, where space itself tells a story. Another small but telling detail. Martha's mentioned that her phone is now her handbag, that she carries a magnetized bandolier for cards and passport, shows a generational pivot. She can nod to modern tech while still holding to heirloom standards. That ability to straddle eras is precisely what could make her a fit for Taylor and Travis, who themselves straddle pop music's delicate lyricism and sports' raw immediacy. Finally, Martha's playful reaction to thirst trap, having never heard the term before, is vintage Martha. Curious, unflappable, and able to laugh at cultural shifts while adapting them to her own brand of elegance. Those small moments suggest Martha isn't simply nostalgic. She's actively translating contemporary culture into her design language. That's a planner who could, in theory, create something both timeless and wildly now. Insiders in the wedding and events world would tell you something blunt and true. A name opens doors but doesn't guarantee execution. Martha's brand gives instant cachet. Vendors will jump at the chance to work under her banner. But logistics, confidentiality, and the tastes of Taylor and Travis would ultimately decide whether she's the right fit. A top planner I spoke with off the record would say, Martha brings taste and a clear vision. But the reality of celebrity weddings today is about tight security, controlled leaks, and synchronized PR. The couple's team, the label, and the NFL will each have veto power. A stylist who's worked with Taylor might add, Taylor is an artist who treats her public moments like a chapter in a bigger story. Anyone planning her wedding would need to consider lyrical beats, fan expectations, and the way images will be dissected for years. An insider from the sports world would point out Kelce's need for authenticity. Family presence, teammates, and the culture of locker room camaraderie matter. The realistic insider take, then, is that Martha could be an incredible creative director or collaborator, but the final decision will come down to a negotiation of control, narrative, and the couple's appetite for spectacle versus privacy. Still, the insiders agree on one thing. Martha's involvement would turn the wedding into a cultural moment worth chronicling. And that's exactly the kind of thing PR teams love. If Martha were to actually plan Taylor and Travis's wedding, the implications would be enormous. For Martha, it would be another masterstroke in career reinvention. Aligning a legacy brand with pop culture's freshest headline would open her to a new generation of consumers and cement her status as not just a lifestyle entrepreneur but a cultural connector. For Taylor, already a masterclass in image control, letting Martha into the process would signal a desire to historicize this relationship, to frame the wedding as an heirloom event rather than a disposable spectacle. For Travis, it would humanize the athlete in an artfully curated way, giving him a stage to broaden his cultural footprint beyond sports industry-wise. A Martha-crafted Swift Kelce wedding would likely become a template for cross-genre celebrations, where culinary curation, social media theatrics, and sartorial storytelling are blended by a single creative mind. And for fans, it would be a bittersweet confirmation that the private life of public figures can be edited into enduring imagery, both comforting and discomforting. Finally, a collaboration like this, record this section with a voice that moves between conspiratorial warmth and cinematic pause, the kind of tone that makes listeners feel like they're being let in on a delicious secret. At moments of reflection, when you read Martha's Birkin anecdote or describe the pool with pink granite, slow the pace and let the emotion settle. At the reveal of Martha's name in relation to Taylor and Travis, add a bright, incredulous lift to the voice. Keep breath short between sentences that list sensory detail. Let the imagery land. For the insider and what this means parts, adopt a slightly more authoritative register, as if quoting a well-placed source. End with a teasing cadence that leaves the listener wanting the next episode. Will Martha get the call? Will fans see the invitation? The story is not over. To understand the potential scale, compare this to past celebrity weddings and cultural handoffs. Think of Jackie Kennedy's understated glamour, which became a style Bible for decades. Think of celebrity weddings like Beyoncé and Jay-Z's carefully managed union, which controlled narrative and visuals to maximize myth. Martha's involvement would sit somewhere between those touchstones and more recent social media-driven spectacles like Kim Kardashian's series of high-budget weddings and pop culture tie-ins. The closest analog might be when legacy creatives, like Giorgio Armani or Vera Wang, put their stamp on a modern superstar. Those collaborations have historically produced moments that define eras. But unlike traditional designers, Martha's identity is domestic authority. She edits lifestyle as a civic act. That's different from a fashion house making a dress. Martha would be curating the lived environment, the choreography of guests, and the food that fuels memory. The comparison shows that a wedding under her hand could be both deeply personal and widely emulated, a hybrid of high art and domestic theater that shapes bridal culture for years to come. Record this section with a voice that moves between conspiratorial warmth and cinematic pause, the kind of tone that makes listeners feel like they're being let in on a delicious secret. At moments of reflection, when you read Martha's Birkin anecdote or describe the pool with pink granite, slow the pace and let the emotion settle. At the reveal of Martha's name in relation to Taylor and Travis, add a bright, incredulous lift to the voice. Keep breaths short between sentences that list sensory detail. Let the imagery land. For the insider and what this means parts, adopt a slightly more authoritative register, as if quoting a well-placed source. End with a teasing cadence that leaves the listener wanting the next episode. Will Martha get the call? Will fans see the invitation? The story is not over.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.